This is Babatunde with Pennystocking 100 to 1000. Welcome back to the series where we take a fresh account on Webull starting with just $100 and show you the journey it takes to grow that $100 into $1,000 over time. And we're back. Today is June 5th, 2019. Markets are green. We are into week number 6 of the series. The account is very, very much down from where we left off. And, you know, we left you off on last week on kind of a positive note, but now we've been through a lot since then. Mostly bad, mostly red. Unfortunately, we have done a lot of trading, unfortunately, so that's been bad of itself. A lot of over trading, and it's led to my account just plummeting. A lot of over trading, a lot of overnight plays that just didn't work out too well, or just not too consistent with them. So I think where we left off the series, we were in SBOT for an overnight. I think we left the series off on Friday. We were in SBOT, if I remember correctly. So remember we were in this at 220 a share, and we back held this for a couple of days. And this thing gave me multiple opportunities to get out, roughly break even. And, I just pretty much greeted out and ignored it. So now Webull is offering the ability to look at extended hours quotes. So you can actually see this, where this highlighted area here in the middle is kind of like this extended hour session. So even here, this is where I had the chance to get out on Monday in the pre-market at 7 o'clock. I even had the chance to get out, roughly break even on this spike to 230. I didn't take it. I got greedy. I thought maybe it was going to be a nice push back up, at least to like 240-ish. You have to remember that this thing was in the 180s. That was a very huge move from the 180 support where people were deciding to dip buy in. That push up to 230 was that was a very, very good move if you were in at the low. So I have to remember that, and I needed to actually get out for break even to cut my losses, or, take a small win, or, break even. But unfortunately, I didn't take that opportunity, and from then on, it just pretty much dropped, on the day, on the intraday. And it got down to the 140s after it really, really, really convincingly broke that support in the 180s that I was hoping that it held in the 170s and 180s. It very, very convincingly broke that huge red candle here, from 190s all the way down to the 160s. Very, very bearish move for the start of the day, And even I, back holding this thing as hard as I did, I really understood that this was a huge sign of bearish movement. There's not any really defined support below the 180s, because this thing jumped up from the 110 area-ish before the initial spike to begin with. So if you want to say defined support area, it might have been like the low 110-ish area. So I wasn't going to wait for that to get to that point. Even right now, it's trading at 116 after hours. So it's pretty much around that area where it was before the initial run up. So we went ahead and cut that loss there in the 140s finally. So we ate a huge loss on that, unfortunately. And then after that play, we have a lot of plays we have to talk about because, we've been just letting them kind of rack up. I've been deciding if I wanted to even talk about them because they're really, really embarrassing. But so we got an AREX. We made $41 on that one. And this was a day trade, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry. It was actually an overnight. After I cut my losses on SBOT, I got in for an overnight play. I saw this close to the close. It found like a middle ground between the low and the high of the day. So I decided this might be a decent area with kind of lowish risk to get into for an overnight. And so we got in close to the close, almost 4 o'clock. If I can just show you the chart for that on that day. So we got in. See, the high was 49 here on that day. And, we got in like roughly right here towards the close. And then, so that was 29 cents. And then it shot up in the after hours. People probably had the same idea I had. And it shot up to like 36, 37 on the after hours that day. And, the next day, in the pre-market, we got out I didn't really like the pre-market movement, as you can see here. It ran up to about 37, and then it kind of settled down. It went down to like 30s in the pre-market. I didn't actually like that low 30s. I didn't like that too much, so I went, like I said, before I didn't even let it get to that point. I went ahead and got out at 35 because I thought it was gonna have some more bullish momentum. It didn't really have much bullish momentum even on the open. It ran to 39, so I left a few pennies on the table, but it's not a big deal. That was the high, and even you can see the candlestick here. It just touched it, grazed it, and came right back down. So it wasn't like strong or anything like that. So I think we made a good move on that to just go ahead and take the win and get out of there. I think that was like a cool 20% overnight. So I'm happy with that. And even from that point on, it just kind of fell into the low 20s. The low was right here, 26. So I'm happy with just going ahead and getting out, locking that win in overnight, and moving on. So that was that one. And then we have a lot here to talk about. And then we have, I believe, AMR. So AMR, this was next. We lost $81 on that one. So that was Tuesday morning. That was a day trade. So we actually lost on that one. We got in at 37. We chased this. We actually went against our rules. We chased this. This was rough for me because I actually sat here and watched this pretty much all day. So this one here, I kind of bit myself in the butt on this one because I did a little bit of research on this one before kind of like opting to get in on it. So this is where I found it here. They had this big, huge run up from 14s all the way to what was here, 28, and then this second candlestick here. This is where I thought, hey, look at the support from the first candlestick here. Look at the support here. That's the support. So about 26ish. So on this second candlestick tick here, when I saw that momentum here, that it was going to hold up to 26s from the first candlestick, I decided that was going to be the support for the next push up. However, this kind of, you have to be quick on some of these plays. And I hesitated. I took a little while to do a little research. I wanted to look at the stock chart a little more in depth, on the desktop and things like that. So I want to kind of map out the actual overhead resistance. And yes, I found out the actual overhead resistance was about 40 cents a share. So yes, this was a great entry to get in here around the support and then stay in for a push up towards the 40s, which in this candlestick it did actually hit 41. So this would have been a good 50% move if I actually just jumped straight in. But like I said, I did my research, and by the time I finished looking up the chart and everything and deciding if I want to get in, it was already like at 33 cents. And I was like, you know what, I missed my chance. I'm gonna, screw it. I missed my chance. Not gonna chase it. And then the next third candlestick here, it ran all the way up to 44 as a new high for the day. And then so I still didn't chase it, and I was waiting for it to come back. I said, you know what, hey, I hope it maybe comes back down to the 26s for support again. That was a very, very wishful thinking right there, right? So we didn't actually get that. It found support at about 33-ish, and even dipped down here. This was the best case scenario. I thought about it. I kept looking for my entry. I was like, it might not get back 26. Maybe I can get like 30 or 29. Low right here was 29 actually. But then I got greedy and I said, I still want my 26. So I started waiting for it. Didn't get 26. 29 was the low. Pushes it back up to nearly 40, 38 cents right there. That was my opportunity. If I had gotten in at about 29.30, I could have made like 30% on this one as it pushed back up to 38. But again, I got a little greedy wanting that very, very cheap entry, which we didn't get. So then when I saw that strength in this candlestick here, when I saw this strength push up from the 30s all the way up to 38, I said, I got to get in. I got to get in. It might make a new high. I got to get in. So that's when I decided to chase it at that point. When all my rules just went out the window, my support levels, my good entry went out the window. I just chased it. Like I said, the high here for this candlestick was 38 cents. We got in at 37. So just before the high was made, we got in. So, and obviously by the time I got in, it just pretty much reversed back down. So back down 34 on this candlestick, and then back down here, 31, kind of pushed back up. It pushed back up to 39. That was going to be the next high of the day. The last time it's going to actually get close to hitting 40 for the day. Again, we greeted for that. We didn't actually want to take that. We wanted a little bit more in the 40s before we actually locked in. So that was our that was our opportunity to actually get out, even though we chased it. And we need to start taking those. This was a blessing. This was an opportunity to get out, even after I chased it, and I did not take it, and that sucks. And so it dropped down here after it broke this support here in the mid 30s, low 30s. It broke that support here very convincingly. This huge drop down here to 23 cents. I decided, hey, it's done. It's definitely done. Broke the 25s pretty easily. I waited for it to push back up a little bit, and I got out with 25 cents a share. So power hour, it did push up to like 27, but nothing huge, before it actually dropped down further until the end of the day, hitting 18 cents a share, which was very, very poor. So I just I knew that this thing was done after it cracked down really hard from the 31 support. I knew it was done. The momentum had died out. It was going to get short attacked. So glad I cut my loss on that one. Right now it's at 18 cents a share. I told you this is going to be a long lesson. I had a lot of trades to go over. And then I think there are two more to go over. So bear with me here. Two more. CTRM. Like I said, we're kind of over trading right now. We lost $15 on that one. Got in at 575 on Tuesday before the market closed. We sold it the next day, Wednesday, at 520 a share. So, kind of sucks eating these 20-30% losses back to back. It kind of sucks. I have to do better. I really do. But I'm glad I finally decided to cut my losses. This was just a very, very low volume play. You can see today it had 400,000 volume, less than the average volume. And that's sad because this was actually a huge play. It ran up pretty huge here, on that Tuesday. It ran up huge, from 4s all the way up to 10. And then it came back down, so it started making lows on the day, started low, kept going lower and lower on the day. We decided to go ahead and get in on that before the close to see maybe it can retest up here, right up here at about 7. Of course, this thing is now in the 480s, so it obviously did not do that. Like I said, it lost volume today. It had 400,000 in volume. So that's unfortunate. But you have to account for this. Sometimes this will happen. It was a good try. It was a good try. I understood the risk behind it. It's just dead right now. It was a pump and dump. It got shorted to oblivion. So, the best chance for me to get out was in the pre-market on this, where it got to 590. And even it got a small tick to 618, but that was just like a few hundred shares, if I remember correctly, on the level 2. So nothing huge. So my best chance to get out was about 590. A few thousand shares on that tick, but yeah. So the best chance to get out was 590 pre-market, but I thought maybe it'd get maybe 60, 650 or something like that, or but it was just very weak. So we saw that on the open. It just did not have much volume. I kept trying to get out at 550 to cut my loss. We got in at 575. I tried to get out at 550 to cut my loss, but there was just not enough buying pressure. It just kept dropping. People kept lowering the ask more and more. So eventually I ended up just finally taking 520 a share, right around here. So that sucked. So we ate another 20% loss on that one. And then I think this is the last one here, so I hope you've stayed long enough to hear this. I'm rambling now. And right now we're in on this, and we will see. We're down $26. IFRX. This is a lottery ticket right here. This is a lottery ticket play. We got in at $3.96 a share this morning at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. And this is just definitely a lottery ticket play right here. This was at $37 the day before, and they had a phase 2 drug trial that showed very, very suboptimal results, and overnight it just crashed, to the 3s, and 291 was low for the day, but it crashed to the 3s, and I saw it around here, and I saw this big. I saw an opportunity to try to go for a dip buy play. I was hoping maybe it can retouch, about 6 here. I can see in the pre-market where that support was in the 6s. I was thinking maybe we might get to 5 or 6-ish as a rebound play. That was best case scenario I was thinking. Unfortunately, it just did not do that. The best case we got was about 426. 426 was the high on that candlestick here. So we were up, maybe 5%, something like that, but nothing huge. So I didn't actually lock that in. And so it just pretty much stayed in threes all day, so we're holding this overnight right now. Right now it's at 327. So, and real quick, because this is a long video, real quick, a lot of people were dip buying this in the low threes right now, $3 a share before the close. So that's why it pushes up to 327 in the after hours. So you have to understand, a lot of people are going to be up, almost 10% already on this play if they got in at the close where I should have been in. So I very, very well expect them to be taking profits in the morning, to be honest. That is actually a good, decent move if you're smart. They will be taking profits more than likely. A 10% move is good enough. So there's a good chance I might just end up, losing really big on this one. I might end up cutting the loss below $3 tomorrow. We'll see. Which is gonna suck, but I understood fully that this was a lottery ticket play. When the stock drops from $37 all the way down to $3, it's usually not a great. It's not a great thing. Yes, sometimes there could be a bounce play. Like I said, I was hoping for it to get back to 6s, but you won't always get that. So I understood this was a lottery play, and it was a good chance that I failed on this one. So if I fail, I just fail. It's my fault. I seen this coming a mile away, so I can't get mad at anyone but myself. But best case scenario, maybe I hope it retouches at least like $4. Again, if people were in the threes, they'll make a cool 30% overnight, which is pretty good. So, of course, if I go ahead and lock in at $4, I'll be break even. But that's because I got in at 396. But that's fine. I'll take that. I hope I get that at least at this point. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'll either cut losses below $3 a share, or if it's not looking good in the pre-market, or maybe it pushes up near $4 again. I'll just get out roughly break even. So nothing huge. So just a lot of suboptimal plays going on this week. This is a very, very rough week right now for me. But we can definitely bounce back from this. We just have to follow our rules. Like I said, we've been kind of over trading, and we need to stop that for sure. So we'll work towards that. We have 2 more day trades for the week. We can make one Thursday, we can make one Friday. We'll see what happens. There wasn't really much going on today for a day trade, so on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens Thursday and Friday. We have to bounce back from this. We have to stop going for home runs and start going for singles. We have to stop doing overnight plays. We're not really well versed in overnight plays. We're not great at them. My thing is more quick day trades, sniper trades, making a quick 10% gain here and there. So I have to get back to doing that. Make 3-day trades per week. Get back to what's my niche. And hopefully we rebound. So I hope you stuck with me through this very, very long lesson. It's just a very as quick as I could make it, a quick recap of the whole entire week pretty much, because I a lot of trades to talk about. But I hope you stayed with me through the whole thing. I hope you've learned a lot from my mistakes. So I hope you've learned a lot from my mistakes, so you don't have to make them yourself. And so I guess we will see you on the next episode of Pennystocking 100 to 1000. And we just encourage you all to stay motivated, stay inspired, study hard, don't hold the bag, stick to your niche, and eventually penny stocks will reward you. Thank you.